our RCYT yoga teacher training. That stands for Registered Children's Yoga Teacher. And this is to earn the specialty degree, the 95-hour Yoga Alliance accredited degree. If you are not currently enrolled in our class, that's fine. Please feel free to join today for free. And if you want to be on degree track, you are welcome to enroll at ShareLove.Fund/train. We're going to start today's class with a reading from our Broadening Our Horizons book series, available on Amazon. This is a book series written by high school leaders for the benefit of incarcerated women. It is a textbook series written at the 9th grade reading level, and the textbook series title is called Broadening Our Horizons. And within that series, we have published a number of books, all available on Amazon. And today I'm going to be reading from our first book that we published called What Can Modern Food Science Learn from Historic Nutritional Practices? I'm going to be reading the afterword written by a middle school leader, Inez Aye. She earned her RYT 200 degree and then went on to earn her RCYT degree and other degrees with us. And now she's in high school and she is the president of our youth leadership board and really just doing an amazing job. But when she was in middle school, she wrote an essay called Be What You Want to Be. And I'm going to read this essay today as our meditation in hopes that it may inspire our other middle schoolers to write their own meditation, their own personal statement. And please feel free to send whatever you write our way. You can email us at yoga@sharelove.fund, and we'd be happy to read your essay if you would like us to share it. And we can also post it on our blog page. So before I start reading, let me teach you how to get into meditative position, because not everybody has taken the RYT 200, which is the basic yoga teacher degree. And this children's yoga teacher degree is really the specialty degree. So it makes sense to do the RYT 200 first, but it's not a requirement. You can take these two courses concurrently or one any which way. You just cannot register the RCYT degree with Yoga Alliance until you have completed the RYT 200. For really specific technical questions about registering your degrees, please feel free to email us at yoga@sharelove.fund, and I would be happy to answer your questions and also put you in touch with our wonderful program graduates that are eager to have job experience and customer service experience in answering your questions. So for a meditative position, what you want to do is be in a comfortable position, but also an alert position. You don't want to be falling asleep. So you can sit on the floor or in a chair. And the idea is that your back and your spine is upright. The crown of your head is pulling to the ceiling, and your sits bones are grounded beneath you. You can be crisscross applesauce, can be in half lotus, or if you're flexible, you can be in full lotus. For those of you in half lotus like I am, I will let you know when we are at our halfway mark, and then I will invite you to switch legs so that you get a nice even stretch on both sides. So let us hear what Inez has to write in hopes that it may give you a little highlight of what this course may be for you, but also most importantly, so that it may inspire you to write yourself. At ShareLoveFund, we advocate the power of the pen. This is why our jail mail and stationery program with incarcerated women is so powerful. And we love to amplify youth voices. Okay, so this is, I'm reading from the afterword. Be What You Want to Be by Inez Aye, ShareLoveFund graduate, RCYT 200 degree holder. The phrase, "Don't judge a book by its cover," is wildly common. However, have people come to the complete understanding of the meaning behind these words? Within society, there's no shortage of stereotypes. Individuals being judged simply by this overly simplified and general view of their outside cover: skin, race, and gender. This human instinct takes over our subconscious, classifying something as dangerous or weird in our minds. Are all Latin Americans uneducated? No. Are all BIPOC people living in economically disadvantaged communities a threat? No. Are all Caucasian varsity athletes necessarily arrogant? No. The question I will address is, does gender determine what can and can't be done? And similarly, the answer is no. Just like skin color and race, gender is a stereotyped topic. The expectations between males and females are on separate ends of the spectrum. An example is a lazy housewife versus a knight in shining armor, providing for his family. Take your guess as to which one represents males and which one represents females. Over time, the lines between gender roles become blurred rather than rigid. Rising companies in which women are empowered, such as ShareLoveFund, will enable those lines to disappear. As a young woman myself, I have learned from a young age always to be alert of my surroundings and the constant agony of having to depend on others to feel safe. That sure isn't what any teenager wants to keep in mind whenever in public. Is this too revealing? Is it okay to wear my hair up? Keep in mind, a woman's everyday actions can determine whether or not she will come home safely that day. Throughout history, a woman's role has always been to depend on her husband and procreate. A woman's vulnerable state didn't allow her to be in a working environment surrounded by alpha male figures. This brings forward an important question. How did historical women such as Katherine Johnson, Dorothy Vaughan, and Mary Jackson, all of whom had such life-altering impact on NASA, were pushed down and rejected? As a 14-year-old female, still somewhat shielded from the real world, not many gender issues have arisen yet. I'm just going to show the pictures. But rather than being ill-prepared for the future, I choose to use it to my advantage, surrounding myself with women who have had many altercations and others who are just like me, just peeking into the unfairness from a back seat. If nothing else, ShareLoveFund has taught me that just because I am a woman doesn't mean that I am any less. history has proven that taking risks often leads to success. Whether conquering land or discovering new scientific inventions, it is usually men who have been behind it. But the rules are always bound to change. Stepping out of your comfort zone is no easy task. In my case, I had been an athlete my entire life, continuously following the same routine. School, tennis, homework, and race skiing on weekends. I had the same friends, teammates, and even coaches. When my parents found out about the ShareLoveFund Junior Teacher Training Program, they asked me to apply. I had serious concerns. The program enables youth to earn the RCYT 200 Yoga Alliance accredited adult teaching degree. And the prerequisites include being 16 years or older and the completion of a high school biology class. Biology? The course curriculum is quite dense, consisting of a 375-page course manual with over 100 pages in additional handouts. This wasn't all of the prerequisites either. 30 hours of study in anatomy, physiology, and biomechanics. 30 hours in yoga, humanities, and philosophy. 50 hours in professional essentials and ethics. And 75 hours in technical asana or pose training. As I joined near the end of 9th grade, lacking in both age and a final biology grade, I had to prove my maturity and professionalism in addition to demonstrating my mastery of functional anatomy. Driven by my passion for science and the invigorating feeling of forging my own path, I welcomed this challenge. I performed well on the evaluation and agreed to continue excelling in my school biology class. I felt confident that I would not be a burden on my fellow yoga classmates. I strived through hard work and preparation to actively contribute to the collective knowledge of my fellow trainees. With the coursework component completed, I still had reservations about whether I wanted to feel like a breadstick among pretzels upon discovering that the training class included gymnasts and ballerinas. Here's the picture. Hypocritically, I did have my own stereotypes about yoga. Respectfully, I saw it just as stretching and breathing exercises to pass the time. I couldn't have been more wrong. More so than physically, yoga benefited me mentally more than I could ever imagine. By inhaling, I take in oxygen needed for my body to function properly, along with all the good thoughts and energy to make me feel happy. While exhaling, I eliminate the carbon dioxide, which is acidifying my body, and all the negative thoughts flow out as well. One of the biggest misconceptions about yoga is that, yes, it is a sport, but it's also a mindset. Being able to control your thoughts takes time and practice, and sometimes all you need is time for yourself. The increase in self-esteem and the sense of having an open mind improved my everyday life. This junior teacher training program encompasses even more than merely instilling a teacher's level of knowledge on the subjects of yoga, asana, which is pose techniques, and pranayama, which is breath work. Upon entering my first training day, lesson leaders Ludmila Lebrecht and Ashley Aaron Holness greeted me with a palpable sense of encouragement and welcoming enthusiasm. Within the first hour, I felt a strong bond of trust with all the amazing girls in my training group. Ashley Scher, ESQ, the founder and CEO of ShareLoveFund, cared deeply about her students' learning experiences. She demonstrated that by continually innovating, she kept us excited to come to class each week. She taught us to be creative and compassionate teachers by creating adorable handouts of lesson plans with small children modeling yoga poses. Ashley gave us ShareLoveFund equipment and clothes so that we could wear ShareLoveFund's lotus flower logo with pride and feel connected to something greater than ourselves. She also set up special workshops to teach us advanced yoga poses and business essentials by introducing us to other female entrepreneurs. I was inspired. The camaraderie between my fellow teenager teacher trainees and myself flourished in that environment. For ShareLoveFund to build classes with teenage girls from different schools who did not previously know each other was a substantial risk. However, it paid off. ShareLoveFund helped me center my awareness on building myself from the inside out and using that deep sense of inner strength to my advantage. Here's a photo of Ashley Aaron Holness. She was our past Youth Leadership Board President and is off to college. Congratulations, Ashley. While I cannot control external circumstances, meaning the existence of stereotypes and judgment, I can take command and choose my affiliations wisely. Our environment critically impacts our everyday lives. Being able to influence others positively is a tremendous gift. However, to do so, we have to be comfortable with ourselves. The environment in which I surround myself will influence me and possibly determine my future occupation. I constantly ask myself, will I grow up to uplift others, or will I bring them down? I now know, as a product of my introspective work at ShareLoveFund, that my success and failures depend on my own actions. And I focus on building the best version of myself without blame, comparison, or jealousy of others. This is the ShareLoveFund lesson. In becoming my own pillar, I am self-reliant, and that is empowering. Thank you so much, Inez, for this beautiful, beautiful writing, and may it inspire each of you in this teacher training to write your own writing. What's really cool at the start of the teacher training is to journal about what you expect to get from the course right in the beginning. And then when the course comes to a conclusion, you can write about what you think about it now that it is ended. And it's really interesting to compare and contrast your thoughts from the beginning to the end. If you are seated in half lotus or any asymmetrical position, now is a great time to switch sides so that you can enjoy symmetry in your body. And we're going to do a nice meditation exercise together. And this will be more of a silent meditation. So we heard a lot about Inez, but what would you write? What questions would you ask yourself? What are you seeking? What part of that is judgment or nervousness or anticipation? And what part of that comes from a place of abundance and compassion and inspiration? If you're not sure, you can just return your attention to your breath, breathing in your nose and out your mouth, or whichever way feels comfortable. You can place your hand on your belly if your mind is wandering to bring your attention back to your breath. Your eyes can be closed, or if you find yourself drifting off to sleep, you can open them with a soft gaze. What do you want to get out of this teacher training? What does success look like to you? Do you feel empowered? What hurdles might you need to overcome to feel empowered? Again, I'll reiterate, what are you seeking? Sort of like a GPS, if you put in the address you're going to, your GPS can tell you how to get there. But if you don't know where you're going, it's a little hard to calculate the route. So if you're not sure, this is an excellent time to slow down, breathe, and take a journey inward. as you start to bring your awareness back to the present moment. Try to take to heart some lessons learned or some feelings that you experienced during this silent, reflective meditation. Remember that this is a place, this inward journey is a place that is always accessible, that you can always return to it, wherever you are, for you carry it with you always. With this sense of ownership, take a deep cleansing breath in, feeling empowered, and exhale all that doesn't serve you. Inhale feelings that you are light and love and in charge of your own destiny, and exhaling all the debris, clutter, negative thoughts, and things that hold you back. You can stretch out your legs, maybe gently tap them on the ground, get a little blood flow in. Inhale, arms up, gently sweep them forward into a forward fold. If you can grab a hold of your toes, even if that means bent knees, because the idea is that we want a full back body stretch by holding on to your toes regardless of whether or not your knees are bent. You're stretching your arms, wrists, everything. Push out your legs to your comfort level and just take a few breaths here, feeling the entire back of your torso, arms, hands, toes, hamstrings, all of it stretch. Happiness studies have shown that people are happiest when they experience a release. Touching your toes does not make you happy. There are a lot of unhappy ballerinas. But what does make people happy is the release experienced in a stretch. So wherever you are, as long as you're feeling a stretch, that may promote happiness. Feeling a stretch is different from feeling sharpshooting pain. Sharpshooting pain is never good, and you should stop if you feel that. Nothing herein shall be construed as medical advice. Please listen to your own body and consult a doctor as needed. To the extent that it feels safe to you, please continue this seated forward fold as we stretch. Relax your neck, relax your jaw, soften your eyes. Slowly roll up vertebrae by vertebrae. Bring the soles of your feet together. You can flap your knees a little bit like a butterfly, and we'll enjoy cobbler pose. Rock side to side, remembering that yoga can be fun and playful. This is, after all, a children's yoga teacher training. We have some fun mats, and the possibilities are endless. You don't need fancy equipment. You can use your own creativity. You can stack up books to make an obstacle course using chalk. You can play yoga games like Foursquare or yoga freeze dance. There are so many ideas in our yoga course manual for you. And the idea is that all humans have an infinite sense of creativity. Sometimes when we get older, we forget that. But one of my favorite phrases from one of my meditation teachers, she said, you'll never meet someone who's 80 years old, for example, and says, well, my one regret is I used up all my creative ideas in my 50s. I wish I hadn't used them up. It doesn't happen like that. We literally have an infinite amount of creativity. And the really cool thing is, creativity is almost like a muscle where once you open up to creativity, more ideas just keep on flowing. So it's kind of like a well that just replenishes more and more the more you draw from it. So anyway, we will use some of that creativity to make cobbler's pose a little more friendly, since this is a children's yoga class, and we'll rock side to side in it. While we're doing this, we are actually engaging our abdomen, and we're engaging all these little stabilizer muscles, and it's just pretty fun. So for a preschool class, for example, you could count while you do this, 1, 2, 3, and practice counting. You could also introduce a foreign language. Please pardon my accent, but you could say uno, dos, tres, and so forth. You can also, in elementary school, practice cities or state capitals, and with each rock, maybe somebody in the class has to chime in the answer. Making yoga class interactive is a wonderful way to engage students, and often when you allow some kinetic movement, like I am rocking back and forth, it keeps students' attention. When you let them wiggle in a defined manner, they may keep their focus with you. For middle schoolers, because this RCYT is for ages 2 to 15. It's a specialty yoga degree so that you have special knowledge of how to teach children ages 2 to 15. We break that up into 3 groups: preschool, elementary school, and middle school. Even for middle schoolers, you know, they're not above some rocking back and forth. They might, you know, be a little silly with it, but it's really good to move. It's hard to hold a grudge when you're rocking back and forth in butterfly position. It's hard to be infinitely mad at someone. It's kind of hard just not to smile when your body is going back and forth. So one of the things I like to tell middle schoolers is fake it until you make it. If you can't think of one reason to smile, just smile, and then you might trick your mind into just being happy. Inhale, arms up, push the legs out, touch the toes, and if your knees are bent, that's fine too. And we'll do this full body back stretch, paying attention to how does it feel the second time around? Do you feel that you can get into it a little deeper? Does it feel the same? What are you learning about your body? Our body is what we have our whole life, so why not get a PhD in understanding you? We'll have a moment of silence as we use our breath to draw deeper into the stretch, relaxing the neck, jaw, eyes, and so forth. Exhale, slowly roll back up vertebrae by vertebrae. We'll bring the soles of our feet back together again, and this time bringing our heels in as close as we can to the midline and having a very tall posture, engaging the abdomen. Inhale the arms up, drop one arm to the side and slowly reach across. Exhale, inhale, and bring the arm to the other side. For those of you that did our RYT 200, we'll just continue this side to side. For those of you who did our RYT 200, you'll remember this as rainbow arms. And this is one of my favorite postures because for the incarcerated women that we serve, I love to remind them that wherever you are, whatever your situation, you can always paint a rainbow inside. For our children's yoga degree, which we're now in, you can say for preschoolers or elementary schoolers, imagine you're holding a paintbrush with your favorite color paint and let's say paint the ceiling yellow and sweep your arms across and maybe dip this arm in purple paint, let's say, and paint the ceiling with a purple brush stroke. And you can say, dip this hand in green paint and paint the ceiling with a green brush stroke. And dip this hand in red paint and paint the ceiling with a red brush stroke, and so forth. Dip this hand in orange paint. Paint the ceiling with an orange brush stroke. Children will pay more attention if they can have a say in it, and that teaches leadership. It's not really empowering to be in school all day being told what to do. How would you like it if you were micromanaged in your job? And children are micromanaged in school for the most part. So what makes a yoga class more fun for youth at any age, even at age 2, is to go around in a circle and each kid can pick the color. Violet, blue, teal, periwinkle, lavender, lemon, lime, pink, fuchsia, magenta, baby blue, navy blue, forest green, and so forth. And you can imagine how fun that is. And it also helps their cognitive development, their mental processing, language recall, communication skills, also gives them practice on taking turns, and so forth. And it also makes the time pass by faster, so children who are less inclined to exercise may keep their attention span for a little longer to exercise. And if they're not reaching their hand up, like if their hand is not making the full arc and is like this, then it visually makes sense to say, hey, how is this getting paint on the ceiling? And so you want to reach up. So sometimes the students will be more inclined to try harder to really reach and lengthen when there is a purpose. The purpose is to metaphorically paint the ceiling and so forth. These same things can be exercised with middle schoolers as long as you give a healthy dose of respect to say, look, this activity might be silly, but imagine how good that sensory feeling would be of like wet paint just smoothly brushing against the ceiling, and like feel how heavy the brush would be, and imagine the slide and the oozing, and imagine looking up and seeing the trail of the bristles and the imprint and stuff like that. So I think there's a lot of sensory benefits that the middle schoolers could go deeper in and sort of enjoy that cerebrally. Inhale, push that legs out. Exhale, and we'll do our final third forward fold. This time, letting it all release, give it your all. This is the last time we'll do this exercise like this today.
And just really see how low can you go? How pancake can you make yourself? Just try to let go. Imagine there's marbles in your pockets and you're just emptying them, letting go of the weight, just folding onto yourself. Exhale, slowly come up vertebrae by vertebrae. Inhale the knees into your chest. Give yourself a little hug. Exhale, bring the soles of the feet back together. Scooch one leg over, the other leg on top, and now we are in half Lord of the Fishes pose. You don't need to worry about this pose. We will have a whole week dedicated just to this pose, as well as all of our poses, including the seated forward fold. Inhale, arms up, and exhale, twist to the right. Really try to enjoy the benefits of the spinal twist. Eyes looking towards the back of the room, trying to anchor each of your sits bones into the mat. You can bring your heels in towards you if that feels comfortable. Inhale, arms up, and twist now to the left side. Eyes trying to face the back of the room to the extent you can twist. Inhale, arms up, and shake it out. Bend the other leg, bring the other leg over, have your sits bones firmly rooted on the ground, and we'll do this spinal twist on the other side. Inhale, arms up, and exhale, twist. Inhale, arms up, and then we'll twist on the final side. Inhale, arms up, shake it out. Come to the side and slowly roll back vertebrae by vertebrae with your feet firmly planted on the mat, knees bent. As you come down, give yourself a little hug and again, rock side to side. In this playful motion, we can play roly-poly for preschoolers, elementary schoolers, and middle schoolers. We can say it with a little more dignity that this is a wonderful spinal massage and that in these ways we can self-massage and give ourselves a feeling of groundedness and security just with the surfaces that we come into contact with. What I like to tell middle schoolers is when you feel that you have no control over anything, your parents are telling you what to do, your teachers are telling you what to do, you always have the constant of the ground beneath you, you are not free falling, and so you do have stability. You have stability of the surface beneath you. So doing this roly-poly, as we can call it, this reminds us of our connection with the ground and the ground as a constant and a pillar of support. With one final hug with your knees, cross your legs and grab a hold of opposite ankles and enjoy a nice hip stretch. Inhale the knees into chest, give yourself a little hug. Exhale, cross the legs on the other side. Again, grab a hold opposite ankles, this time stretching the glute on the other side. Bring your knees into your chest. Again, rock side to side. Inhale, push up the soles of the feet to the ceiling. Bring your hands up, palms facing each other, shoulders still gaining connection with the mat. You are not trying to touch your toes here. You're trying to keep your back straight, engage your core. Exhale, breathe it all out and enjoy this strengthening pose while it also helps us with our posture. This pose is called dead bug. It is not an official pose of the share method, but kids get a kick out of it. Dead bug, so we can all play dead bug at any age. Dead bug. You can also make this kind of a fun contest of who could stay in dead bug longer, who can be in dead bug without laughing, whose dead bug is the straightest, and so forth. You can have fun with it. You can also learn a little bit of biology, and you can play Name That Bug with elementary schoolers. So various kids can be in dead bug, and you can say, what kind of a bug are you? And someone could say, I'm a ladybug. And someone could say, I'm a beetle, and so forth. You can also explore creativity, and everyone can be an imaginary bug. Maybe you are working with preschoolers and they don't really know their bugs yet. So you could say, describe what kind of bug you are. Describe your colors. Describe if you have antennas. Describe how many legs you have. You can even have the children pick a fictional name for their bug. So there's so many games and things that you can do with yoga, and the idea is that children feel more relaxed when there is some kinetic movement going on. It allows them to burn off a little bit of anxiety, and it helps them focus. And so through this yogic kinetic movement, children can learn even academic subjects just because it allows them to burn off some excess energy. From dead bug, bring your knees back into your chest. Grab a hold of your feet, soles of the feet to the ceiling. You can reach your arms around, grabbing your heels, using your elbows to expand your hips a little bit. And here we're in Happy Baby. Happy Baby is super fun to rock to each side. And so this is a really great pose for kids. It's also a really nice way to, again, massage that back. Do not underestimate the stress that middle schoolers are under. It is a tumultuous time, and by physically kind of working out that tension in their back can make them feel a lot better. Also, we keep a tremendous amount of emotion in our hips, so doing this pose helps with that. However, please be sensitive to what the kids are wearing. Maybe they are not in leggings, and then this pose really wouldn't be conducive to a school environment. Even like gym shorts are not so tight fitting, so there can be like an outfit snafu, so I don't recommend this pose unless people are wearing leggings. We'll breathe into this pose for a little bit and enjoy the benefits. Try to keep your sacrum down, heels to the ground. Bring the soles of your feet together and then slowly bring them down. We're going to do a Savasana today, final resting pose in reclined goddess with our soles of our feet together and our knees folding to the sides. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, your arms all around to have cactus arms. And if you need anything to feel comfortable, turning out the light, so forth, I'm going to fix my hoodie so I'm not on it. And we'll just enjoy this final resting pose, reclined goddess. You can continue in Savasana. If it feels comfortable, you can push your legs out in front of you. Reach your hands to the side of your body, palms up. Allow your heels to come towards each other and your feet, your toes folding out towards the ends of the mat. I'm going to sit up myself to prepare for the end of the class, but I encourage you all to enjoy these last 2 minutes of Savasana, and I invite you to continue resting until I clap my hand. Okay, everyone, please come to a comfortable seated position. You can roll to one side of the mat. Slowly bring yourself up. Draw your awareness back to the present moment. Namaste.